Hi, my name is Terry. Welcome to April So Fun. As you can tell, my month was purple, so I incorporated purple in just about everything. I really like purple, but doing so many purple projects, I think I'm going to take a little break from it for a while. I'm going to start by showing you this nice embroidered frame that I did. I like to work on canvas. This one is by Primrose Lane, and it's called The Quilter's Excuse. It says, every time I get the urge to clean, I pull out my sewing machine. I thought, this is perfect to hang in a sewing room. So I bought the canvas frame. It's got 3 different sizes, and I used the large size for this picture. I took the frame out of the canvas, so you have to pull out the staples on the back. I ironed on a piece of iron-on stabilizer, and then I put tearaway behind it and put it in the hoop. I hooped the tearaway, laid this on top, and after it gets started, you don't have to sit there and make sure it's not going to move because it's a big piece and it overhangs your hoop. While it was embroidering, I took the frame, sanded it a little bit. I had to add a little wood putty in a couple of the corners, and I painted it. Of course, the design finished a long time before I was done with the frame. I dry brushed some black, some gray, some white on it, and I still wasn't quite happy with it, so I used some sandpaper and sanded it off so it would look a little older. Then I cut the canvas down and stapled it on the back and put a piece of cardstock on the back of it with a little picture frame holder. So this is a perfect gift to give away or to make for your own sewing room. And of course, you wouldn't have to use purple on your frame. You could do it the color of your sewing room. So this again is called The Quilter's Excuse. My next project is another embroidery project. It is a bird brain design, and it's called Spring Garden Red Work. So I used one of the flags from OESD that's already assembled, and the sides are open, so I did a different design on each side of it. Then you stitch the sides and the bottom together so it will be finished off and you can't see the inside at all. I added some little prairie points on the bottom to give it a little weight so it'll flap nicer in the wind. And when I went to put it on my little hanger here, the stitching line was up here. So I had to rip it in order to get it to go on and off of this. So I ripped the sides down to about here and then started ripping across the front of it, and oop, I cut it. So I went in my Floriani software, cut out this little bee, stitched it over the top of where I cut it, and put some fray check. So this little garden flag will be great in the garden. It stitches up really nice, and it's a red work design. So I did some search online, and it said the red work comes from Turkey, where they introduced a color-fast red thread about 200 years before it came to the United States. And it came here right before the Civil War. So general stores sold little 6-inch pieces of muslin with a stamped-on design, and you'd go to the store and buy it. You'd do very basic red work by hand on it, and then they would put it together for a quilt or for linens or something like that. A lot of little girls learned how to do their stitching on it. And then a few decades after that, Turkey came out with a color-fast blue indigo thread that's called blue work. So the blue work and the red work share a lot of history. They're light, easy, quick designs When you do them on your embroidery machine, it's fantastic because you can set it up, walk away, and do whatever else you need to do while it's stitching out because there's no thread changes. So there's just a little history about red work. And since they had red and blue, I decided, well, it could be purple work. So my month has purple work in it. So I also made this pillow. This pillow had to be hooped twice, and I used a satin background instead of a cotton background on it just to give it a little sheen, and I thought it turned out really good. I put a little zipper in it, and I made the pillow form. All the instructions are included on the CD that comes with this. So again, here is some purple work. The next thing I'll talk about is this bag, and it's called the Cork Lovers Bag. It was really fun to make. It's got a lot of special things to it. To begin with, the thing I liked the best is it has this zipper pocket that separates the inside. So the zipper pocket will open and keep your checkbook or your wallet or whatever inside of it, and then it's got two compartments on each side with pockets. In this pocket I put a place to put a pin in, and on this side it's just a plain pocket. One thing I didn't care about was the lining showed right here, and I figured since the outside was such a nice stiff fabric, I should put something on the inside. So the packet of cork that we're offering has just enough fabric left over after you cut the bag out to cut this little 2.5 to 3 inch piece, and I sewed it on top of the lining so when I put it together it could be turned and finished. I used a magnetic snap. I used D-rings for the handles and little feet for on the bottom of it. I think it turned out really good. It's a nice size. It's not too heavy, and it fits right on your shoulder. So with this bag, we brought in some cork. We have one more that's not here yet, but here's a couple of the shades of cork that we have available for you to use to go along with this Cork Lovers Bag. The next little bag I want to talk about is this great zip and clip bag. It comes with hardware, so you have everything you need for the bag. This bag has so many unique pockets in it. It has magnetic snaps on the front and a zip pocket where you could put whatever you want to in. It also has a pocket for your cell phone here in the front. On the inside, it's got a little Velcro pocket, so you just have a little Velcro holder. They suggest in the pattern you put your passport there. And in this zipper, this is so cool. Inside the zipper are 6 credit card slots for you to put your credit cards in. And you could also put money down in here. So there are so many little pockets in this little bag. Now you can wear it over your shoulder. You can wear it as a cross body bag, or I'm not sure I have it set to the right size. It can just be a bag that you strap on around your waist. So this bag is perfect for wherever you're flying or traveling, or even if you're just going to go shopping in the mall. And again, it is called the Zip and Clip Bag, and you'll want to get the extra hardware to go with it. All right, the next project is the Montrose top. I really enjoy using this pattern. They have you take your measurements, and the back pieces are pretty much, you know, where you cut your sizes out. The front pieces are a little bit different because it depends on the size of your bust and your cup size. So these make up very nicely and they fit very well. This is the one that I did I could not find purple fabric, so this one is teal. And I had bought this fabric, I think a year ago probably, to make a summer top and never did. So I have a new top for this summer. As I was working on it, I decided that I had this fabric that matched perfectly for the yoke. So it's a little bit gathered here, so I thought it would help stand it out. So I used this fabric for the yoke, and then I used a fancy stitch on my machine to put right above the part where it connected. The pattern is very well written. It has lots of little hints along the way. They say to use light to midweight fabric. This one has the scoop neck with the yoke in short sleeves. The other design, the other style that I have for this, my sister made. So my sister made this. It's see-through, but it's got a little white camisole underneath it. This one has a jewel neck, they call it, with a keyhole back. So here's your keyhole back right here. And it's got sleeves to the elbow. So it's a little bit different. She was over when I was trying to figure out what to put on the back of my yoke, and I ran across the lace stitch on the FOF icon. So she decided to put a lace stitch. So she made the whole top, and then she came over to my house and we put the little tiny lace stitch along the sleeves and along the bottom. And she just used Floriani's Wet and Gone, and I left it on here so you can see that it had the stabilizer there and we had to wash it out. So this again is a great pattern, the Montrose top. The next thing I want to talk about is the project bags. It's a by Annie pattern, and I know a lot of you think by Annie is way too difficult and has way too many different pieces and stuff. So what I do is I take and make a copy of her size. You know, she has cut out so many A's, so many B's, and that stuff. I make a copy of it and I cut it up. And then I use my little clips, and every time I cut what she says, I clip it on there. So then when you go to put your bag together, you've got it all in order and you know which piece goes where. This pattern makes 4 different bag sizes. It makes the small one, which is like good enough for a few little notions to go in or something. It makes this size here. However, I was paying no attention when I did it, and I had a little bottom cut out to put on it, and I didn't. So this is a new size. And it makes this size, which is called large, and I did put the bottom on here. They all have this vinyl on the front. You could put mesh if you wanted. And this is the large size, the extra large size. So you can put the bottom in just a straight strip, or she has you cut little pieces so you can mix and match some of your fabric. The back has the foam in it that you use, and these bags were really easy to make. Along with the pattern, you get a little card that's a free $5 gift that you go to her website, and she gives you step-by-step instructions on a video. So if you learn by seeing, you can make this bag. It's very easy. We brought in the vinyl from Annie, which is nice. It's got a paper backing on it. It helps you be able to lay it out and see what you're cutting exactly. And I had ordered in these zippers that have multicolored tabs. I just love being able to pick different tabs. If you noticed on my bags, everyone had a different colored tab on it. So again, this is Project Bags number 2 by Annie. let me take some time to talk about a few things we have brought in. We have two not fat quarters, charm packs. This one here, I'll just open it up a bit so you can see the different colors. Of course, it's got purple, and it's got all the colors that I've added with my purples in it. So this one's called Sunflowers. It's so cute. I can't wait to make something out of it. And the other one is called Cottage Bouquet. It has just as many fun colors, and it's also done with purples in it. So these are great little charm packs that you can order. We did not order this little mat cleaner on my list, but the stores all have them. This works great to clean those fuzzies off your mat after you've cut batting or some kind of furry fabric or whatever. It just cleans that right off. So these are available in the store, and it's a purple notion. And then we brought in the Stitch Ripper. This is a fantastic item. I did not think I would like it, but it works so nicely. It has two different cutting blades, and you just pop them off like that. This is the small one that you would probably use to do lettering, any kind of smaller work. This is the larger one that you would probably use if you made a mistake on a color or something and you had to take out the whole area that you did in a solid color of embroidery. One thing you want to do is not do it this way because it will cut the fabric. So you lay it with the dime on the top and you just turn it on. It's it's chargeable, and it just trims it off so easily. So this I will not do without. Again, I have used it several times. I made some shampoo capes for my granddaughter's shop, and I needed to tear out a part with it, and I just used it, and it took it off so nicely, and it didn't rip the fabric at all, not one hole. So I suggest this if you're an embroiderer. It is a fantastic product to have. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about the mat board tote. This tote is a great thing to have for classes, or if you camp and you take your stuff with you so you can sew well, it's really called glamping, and you take your stuff with you so you can sew while you're out. This is a great bag. It is big enough to have my ironing mat that's padded. It is big enough to have an 18 by 24 cutting mat. It's big enough to have this giant ruler in it, which is 24 by 6. And it has several pockets in it that I made one big enough that you could probably put your pattern in. There's one over here where your rotary cutter could go. So this is just a simple, easy pattern done by cut loose threads. It just requires a little bit of stabilizer in it on both pieces, your lining and your outside. And it comes together super quick and easy. It takes between 2 to 6 hours. Mine may have taken a little longer because if you buy fabric that's one direction, you want to be sure to buy a little more than what the pattern calls for. I did not do that, so I ended up having to piece, but I think I matched it pretty good that nobody will know on the back side. So this again is the mat board carrier by Cut Loose Press. All right, the next project is Quilted Skinnies. This book has Lots of little projects in it. It has 8 of them. I made a couple, but look at this one. This one is for like a baby's room. You'd put sweet dreams. And all the little stars have a little tied-on bow. It's so cute. And there's another one here that says Kiss the Cook. It would be great for in your kitchen or for on the patio by your barbecue. It's just a cute little book. They talk about using the double-side fusible, the Steam-A-Seam 2. And they have the patterns in here that you trace off with your Steam-A-Seam 2. They suggest you trace with a 1/2 inch seam between each pattern that you're tracing so you can cut it out and still have a 1/4 inch. Then you take the one side off and you iron it onto your fabric. Then you trim around the edge on the line and you have just the right piece. Then you lay it out, stick it down, lay it out, and when you have everything exactly where you want it, then you put an iron to it and it sticks. All you have to do then is go back around it with your fancy stitching. So the first one I did is called Be Happy. It is a very cute little wall hanging. It's got purple flowers, it's got the little bee, and it's just a nice cherry design. I did this little part here with the triple stitch. And the rest of it, I just used invisible thread to go around it after I've kind of got it together. And then I used the invisible thread to also do the quilting in around the designs. My friend who really likes bees made this little one here, and I love the wings that she put on here. There's so much motion in the wings. That bee is just flying like crazy. So there's other things you could do besides the actual design that they give you. The next design I did, of course, was for your sewing room or your craft room. It is called Create. It makes a good-sized hanger. I put on it the little corners on the back to hang it up. This was really fun. I used a little bit of metallic for the scissors, and it was just really fun to pick out all those different purples and add to it. So this is all from the book, Say It with Quilted Skinnies. The next one is called Table-Tastic 3. In this book, there are 20 projects. He shows each project in 2 colorways. So you can see it in 2 colorways and do it like he suggests, or you can do it the way you want to. Here's one that I think I might make at Christmas time to put in the center of my table. It's really cute. Here's another one for the 4th of July, and you could see he did it without red, white, and blue and with red, white, and blue. So he gives you a lot of little choices as you're going. I did this one called Balmoral here. It's a very large table runner. It comes out, I didn't read what size it was going to come out before I did it. So it comes out 24 by 60. So it's 24 inches wide and 60 feet long. And it was fun because I liked the different way it puts stuff together. The next one I did is my very favorite table runner, and it is called Cardiff. I just love the design in this table runner. Actually, I bought fabric to do like 3 colors and started stitching it together and did not like it with just 3 colors. So the book, Table-Tastic number 3, is used with your scraps. So this again has a lot of my little purple scraps from my shelf. It also has the 3 fabrics I bought in it, but not completely. I just like the different look of this and the different pattern. I have not seen one. So again, this is Tabletastics number 3. The next book I did is my very favorite of everything I did. It's called Scrappiness is Happiness. There are so many things about this book I like. When you start reading at the beginning, she goes through it and gives you a lot of hints on how to cut your leftover fabric and how to store it, what size is good pieces to have. And she just has so many great ideas in her book. So the first one in the book is called Buzzy Bee Quilt, which is right here. My girlfriend did the Buzzy Bee quilt, and I told her you need to put some purple in it somewhere. So if you look closely, you can see that the antenna has purple in it. So she loves bees. She did make her quilt a bit smaller than what it called for. She didn't put quite as many blocks together, but it is a large block. It's a 14.5-inch unfinished block. So it's very large, but she put it together very quickly for me. She then shrunk the pattern down a little bit and did this little tabletopper thing, and it turned out really cute. She has bees on the back of it. You can tell she loves little bees, and so you can also make it smaller without much trouble. What I like about the book is at the beginning of the pattern, it gives you exactly what to cut for one block. So you can try it out, and if you don't like it, you don't have to continue. So, and that would be just one square is all it would be. The next project in this book is called the Scrap Apple Quilt, and that's this one here. I did it with all leftovers completely from my sewing room. So all the whites were on the shelf, already been cut and just little pieces left. All the purples were either on the shelf or in a shoebox that I have that I put them in. I used red purples and I used blue purples together, and I think it just came out great. I love this little quilt. This is the size of the block for it. It's not as large as the other one, but it's a good sized block. It has several other things in here that I decided to make just to show you that you can do the one square, and then if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. So this is called Applesauce Quilt, and I just made a little hot plate thing for on the table out of the apple. I didn't use the core, which is in the pattern. It has a core as well as the apple, but I only used the apple. I also made this one called the Blossom Block, which is here, and it was really fun. I barely had enough fabric of this, so again I used my scraps, and it has a little purple in it. The next block I did is called the Checkerboard Square Block, and I just used it for a hot pad holder on the table. The thing about this one I thought was interesting is you made a little rectangle and a square, put them together, then you put another rectangle together, and after you did that, then you put your little corners on to finish it off. And I thought that was a neat way to do the points on the star instead of making a half square triangle somewhere or something. It came out like this, and it was really an interesting block to make. There's another block in here. Oh, for the 4th of July, it's a little flag that you could make. I'm not sure that it's so small. It takes 6 yards of backing. So it's 72.5 by 96.5. So it is a quilt that you would be making. Again, the name of this book is Scrappiness is Happiness, and it's by Laura Holt, and it's the best book. You will want it for your library. Thank you again for joining us for April Sew Fun. I hope you enjoyed the purple presentation.